Ladies and gentlemen, memory is a valuable asset. The ability to retain and recall information quickly can give you a competitive edge in business, education, and life. Successful people aren't just intelligent. They know how to learn efficiently. The brain thrives on association. The human mind remembers information better when it's connected to something familiar. Creating mental links accelerates learning and boosts retention. Visualization strengthens memory. The brain processes images 60,000 times faster than text. Turning information into vivid mental pictures makes it easier to recall. Repetition and spaced learning matter. Learning in intervals and revisiting information over time improves memory retention significantly. Cramming is ineffective in the long run. The environment affects learning speed. The right surroundings, such as a distraction-free space and proper lighting, can enhance cognitive function and information absorption. Focus beats intelligence. Intelligence alone won't make you a fast learner. A sharp, focused mind that knows how to process information effectively will always win. Memory equals money because knowledge is a foundation of success, and the ability to retain and recall information quickly gives you a competitive edge in any field. Think about the most successful people in the world: entrepreneurs, investors, top executives, and industry leaders. They don't just know a lot. They know how to use what they know at the right time, in the right place, and in the right way. Their memory isn't just a passive storage unit. It's a tool for making smarter decisions, solving problems faster, and seizing opportunities before others even notice them. Imagine you walk into a high-stakes business meeting where $1 million deal is on the line. You're negotiating with people who have years of experience, and they expect you to be on top of your game. Now, if you have a sharp memory, you won't need to fumble through notes, hesitate when asked a tough question, or struggle to recall critical data. You'll have the information ready to go, instantly accessible in your mind, allowing you to speak with authority, confidence, and precision. That confidence translates into trust, and in business, trust translates into money. Let's take another example: sales. In sales, the ability to remember details about clients can be the difference between closing a deal and losing a customer. If a salesperson remembers not just a client's name, but their preferences, past purchases, and even small personal details like their favorite hobby or their child's birthday, they build stronger relationships. When people feel valued and remembered, they are far more likely to do business with you. And in industries where connections matter, a good memory isn't just helpful, it's a gold mine. In investing, memory is just as valuable. Investors who can recall past market trends, company performance histories, and key financial indicators make better decisions. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, is known for his incredible memory and ability to recall financial data instantly. He doesn't need to sift through endless reports every time he makes a decision. He already has the knowledge stored in his mind, ready to be applied at a moment's notice. That ability to quickly analyze and recall information allows him to make billion-dollar moves faster than others, and that speed gives him an undeniable advantage. In the modern workforce, memory also plays a critical role in productivity. Employees who can remember instructions, procedures, and key project details don't waste time constantly asking for clarifications or searching for information. They work more efficiently, solve problems faster, and contribute more to their companies, making them more valuable employees. And in any industry, the most valuable employees are the ones who get promoted, get raises, and ultimately make more money. For entrepreneurs, memory is even more essential. When you're building a business, you have to juggle countless details: marketing strategies, financial plans, customer data, competitor insights, and so much more. A strong memory allows you to process vast amounts of information without feeling overwhelmed. You can connect the dots between different pieces of knowledge, recognize patterns, and make informed decisions that drive growth. And when you can learn faster than your competition, you can innovate faster, adapt to change more effectively, and stay ahead of the game. Education is another area where memory directly translates to financial success. The faster and more effectively you can learn, the more skills you can acquire. And in today's world, skills equal income. Whether it's coding, marketing, finance, design, or any other high-paying field, those who can master new skills quickly have a significant advantage. They don't need years to reach expertise. They can absorb information rapidly, apply it effectively, and start earning sooner. The ability to learn faster means you can climb the career ladder quicker, switch industries effortlessly, and stay relevant in a rapidly changing job market. Now, let's talk about everyday financial decisions. From remembering important financial deadlines to recalling critical contract terms, memory helps you avoid costly mistakes. How many people have lost money simply because they forgot to pay a bill on time, overlooked a key detail in an agreement, or failed to recall an important lesson from a past financial mistake? A sharp memory acts as a safeguard against these errors, helping you make smarter financial choices and avoid unnecessary losses. Networking is another major factor. The most successful people don't just network widely, they remember people. When you can recall names, faces, conversations, and personal details about the people you meet, you build stronger, more meaningful connections. And in business, connections often lead to opportunities. Whether it's landing a new job, securing an investment, or forming a strategic partnership, the ability to remember people and details about them can open doors that would otherwise remain closed. In the age of information, memory is more important than ever. While technology gives us access to endless knowledge, it also makes it easy to become dependent on search engines and external tools. But those who can store and recall information without constantly relying on Google or their notes will always have an edge. They can think faster, make decisions more quickly, and operate with a level of efficiency that sets them apart from the competition. If you want to increase your income, grow your business, advance in your career, and create more financial opportunities, improving your memory is one of the smartest investments you can make. It's not just about remembering facts. It's about equipping yourself with the ability to learn faster, think sharper, and take action more effectively. And in a world where knowledge is power, those who can retain and apply that knowledge are the ones who will always come out on top. Visualization and memory tricks are among the most powerful tools for enhancing learning, recall, and cognitive performance. The human brain is naturally wired to process and remember images more effectively than abstract information. This is because for thousands of years, our ancestors relied on visual memory for survival, remembering the location of food sources, identifying threats, and navigating their environment. Even today, studies show that people retain up to 65% of visual information after 3 days, compared to only 10% of written or spoken information. By leveraging visualization techniques, anyone can significantly improve their memory and learning speed. At its core, visualization involves creating mental images to represent information. Instead of trying to remember dry facts or random numbers, transforming them into vivid, exaggerated, and often humorous mental pictures makes them easier to recall. For example, if you need to remember the word elephant in another language, picturing a giant elephant wearing sunglasses and dancing to music in your mind will make the word much more memorable. The more bizarre and exaggerated the image, the stronger the memory link becomes. This is because our brains are naturally drawn to novelty, surprise, and strong emotions, which are all elements that make memory stick. One of the most famous memory techniques based on visualization is the memory palace, or the method of loci. This technique has been used for thousands of years, dating back to ancient Greece and Rome, when orators had to memorize long speeches without notes. The concept is simple. You imagine a familiar place, such as your home, and mentally place pieces of information in specific locations within that space. When you need to recall the information, you mentally walk through your memory palace and retrieve each piece from its designated spot. For example, if you need to remember a grocery list, you can visualize a giant loaf of bread sitting on your doorstep, a carton of milk spilling on your kitchen floor, and apples rolling down your hallway. When you later think of your home, these exaggerated images will immediately come to mind, making it easy to recall your list. Another powerful visualization trick is associating numbers with images. This is particularly useful for remembering long sequences of numbers, such as phone numbers or historical dates. One effective method is the major system, which converts numbers into consonant sounds and then into words and images. For example, the number 42 might be associated with a giant raincoat, since 4 could represent R and 2 could represent N in the system. By turning numbers into mental pictures, they become far easier to remember. Visualization can also be applied to studying and learning complex concepts. If you're trying to understand how the human heart works, picturing it as a factory with different rooms representing different chambers and conveyor belts representing blood flow can make the information far more digestible. This technique is widely used in education, as teachers and students who use visual metaphors and imagery often find it easier to grasp difficult subjects. In fact, studies show that medical students who use visualization techniques when learning anatomy perform significantly better than those who rely only on textual explanations. Storytelling is another powerful way to integrate visualization into memory improvement. Our brains are wired to remember narratives more effectively than isolated facts. If you need to memorize a list of random words, turning them into a bizarre story can help. Suppose you need to remember the words giraffe, umbrella, and bicycle. You could imagine a giraffe riding a bicycle while holding a giant umbrella. The more ridiculous and visually engaging the story, the more likely you are to remember it. This is why professional memory champions, who compete in world memory competitions, often use visualization and storytelling to recall hundreds of words, numbers, and facts in a matter of minutes. Another effective visualization trick is the PEG system, which is useful for remembering ordered lists. This technique involves associating each item on a list with a pre-memorized set of pegs, visual anchors that help you recall information in a specific order. For example, if you use a set of rhyming words, 1 equals sun, 2 equals shoe, 3 equals tree, etc., and you need to remember a to-do list, you can visualize each task interacting with corresponding peg. If the first task is to call a friend, you can imagine a giant sun-shaped phone in the sky. If the second task is to send an email, you can picture a shoe walking over to a laptop. This technique makes recalling a sequence of items almost effortless. Visualization can also enhance language learning. If you're trying to learn a new word in another language, associating it with a strong mental image can make it more memorable. For example, the French word for hat is chapeau. If you visualize a chef, which sounds like cha, putting a giant hat on top of a pot of boiling soup, you create a strong mental connection that makes the word easier to recall. Many language learners find that using mental images and associations drastically improves their vocabulary retention. Athletes and performers also use visualization to enhance their skills and memory. Studies show that mentally rehearsing a physical activity, such as shooting a basketball or playing the piano, activates the same brain regions as actually performing the activity. This means that simply visualizing yourself successfully executing a skill can improve performance and muscle memory. Olympic athletes frequently use this technique to mentally practice routines before performing them in real life. The more vivid the mental imagery, the stronger the neural pathways become, leading to improved execution. Even in everyday life, visualization can help with memory and productivity. If you have trouble remembering where you place your keys, forming a mental image of yourself putting them down on a table can strengthen the memory. If you need to recall someone's name, imagining it written on their forehead in bright neon letters can help lock it in your mind. These simple tricks can prevent forgetfulness and make daily tasks easier. Visualization also plays a critical role in goal setting and motivation. Successful entrepreneurs, athletes, and high achievers often visualize their success before it happens. They picture themselves accomplishing their goals, experiencing the emotions of victory, and overcoming obstacles. This mental rehearsal helps build confidence, reduce anxiety, and create a sense of certainty that drives action. Studies have shown that people who visualize their success regularly are more likely to achieve their goals because their minds are already familiar with the process of success. In a world where information overload is a constant challenge, mastering visualization and memory tricks gives you a massive advantage. Whether you want to ace an exam, remember people's names, improve your public speaking skills, or learn new concepts faster, training your brain to create strong mental images can transform the way you retain and recall information. By turning abstract data into vivid pictures, associating new knowledge with familiar concepts, and engaging in mental storytelling, you can unlock the full potential of your memory and make learning effortless. Repetition and spaced learning are two of the most effective techniques for retaining information and mastering any skill. These methods are rooted in how the brain processes, stores, and retrieves knowledge. While repetition strengthens neural connections, spaced learning ensures that information is retained over the long term. Together, they create a powerful system for absorbing and recalling information more efficiently than cramming or passive reading. Understanding how to use these techniques properly can lead to significant improvements in learning speed, memory, and overall cognitive performance. Repetition is one of the most basic principles of learning. When we encounter new information for the first time, it is stored in our short-term memory. However, short-term memory is limited and can only hold information for a short period before it fades away. To move information from short-term to long-term memory, the brain needs repeated exposure to it. Every time you repeat something, you reinforce the neural pathways associated with that knowledge, making it easier to recall later. This is why you can easily remember your phone number, favorite songs, or commonly used passwords. You have encountered them so many times that they have become deeply embedded in your memory. However, not all repetition is equally effective. Mindless repetition, such as rereading the same material over and over without engagement, does not work as well as active repetition. Active recall, which involves retrieving information from memory rather than just reviewing it, is one of the most powerful ways to reinforce learning. For example, instead of passively reading a textbook multiple times, you can close the book and try to recall the key points from memory. This forces your brain to work harder, strengthening the memory pathways more effectively than passive review. Another important aspect of repetition is variation. If you repeat information the same way every time, your brain can become disengaged, reducing the effectiveness of the repetition. Instead, varying how you practice the material can lead to better retention. For example, if you're trying to learn a new language, rather than just repeating vocabulary words in a list, you can use flashcards, write sentences using the words, practice speaking them aloud, or even teach them to someone else. This variation keeps your brain actively engaged, making the repetition more effective. While repetition is essential, simply repeating information in quick succession does not lead to long-term retention. This is where spaced learning comes in. Spaced learning, also known as spaced repetition, is a practice of reviewing information at gradually increasing intervals over time. The idea is that by spacing out study sessions, you allow yourself to forget a little before reviewing the material again. This process forces your brain to work harder to recall the information, strengthening the memory each time it is retrieved. The concept of spaced learning is supported by extensive scientific research. Hermann Ebbinghaus, a German psychologist, developed the forgetting curve, which shows how memory declines over time if information is not reviewed. According to this curve, people forget nearly 50% of new information within an hour and up to 80% within a few days if they do not revisit it. However, when the information is reviewed at spaced intervals, right before it is about to be forgotten, it becomes embedded in long-term memory much more effectively than if it were crammed all at once. Spaced learning takes advantage of this forgetting curve by strategically timing review sessions to maximize retention. Instead of studying something intensely for a short period and then forgetting it, spaced repetition ensures that knowledge is reinforced over time. For example, if you learn something new today, you should review it after a few hours, then the next day, then a few days later, and then again after a week. Each review session strengthens the neural pathways associated with that knowledge, making it easier to recall even after long periods. This method is particularly effective for subjects that require long-term retention, such as learning a new language, mastering a musical instrument, or studying for exams. For example, language learners using spaced repetition systems, SRS, like Anki or Duolingo find that they can retain vocabulary words much more effectively than if they try to memorize them all at once. Similarly, musicians who practice pieces at spaced intervals rather than in one long session experience better long-term retention of their skills. One reason spaced learning works so well is that it prevents cognitive overload. When people try to absorb too much information at once, their brains become overwhelmed and much of the material is quickly forgotten. Spaced repetition allows the brain to process and consolidate information more efficiently, preventing burnout and improving retention. In addition to spacing out review sessions, incorporating retrieval practice into spaced learning makes it even more powerful. Retrieval practice involves actively recalling information rather than passively reviewing it. For example, Instead of simply rereading notes, students can test themselves by summarizing key concepts, answering questions, or teaching material to someone else. This not only reinforces learning, but also helps identify weak areas that need more focus. Another benefit of space learning is that it mimics real-world situations where knowledge is applied over time. In school or work, people rarely need to recall information immediately after learning it. Instead, they need to remember it days, weeks, or even months later. Space learning ensures that knowledge is available when needed, rather than fading away after a short burst of cramming. Despite its effectiveness, many people do not use space repetition because they are conditioned to believe that longer, more intense study sessions are the best way to learn. However, research consistently shows that shorter, strategically spaced study sessions lead to better retention than cramming. A study conducted by the University of California found that students who use spaced repetition performed significantly better on exams than those who studied intensively in a single session. Space learning is also valuable for skill development in professional and personal life. Employees who engage in regular training sessions with space reviews are more likely to retain job-related knowledge than those who attend one-time training workshops. Similarly, athletes who practice skills at spaced intervals improve their performance more effectively than those who train for long hours without breaks. Incorporating space learning into daily life does not have to be complicated. Simple strategies like using flashcards, setting reminders for periodic reviews, or using space repetition apps can make a significant difference. Even breaking study sessions into shorter, more frequent intervals instead of long cramming sessions can lead to noticeable improvements in retention and recall. For those looking to optimize their learning, combining repetition and space learning is the key to success. Repetition strengthens neural connections, while spaced intervals ensure that information is stored in long-term memory. Whether learning a new skill, studying for an important exam, or trying to retain information for professional growth, applying these principles can make the process more efficient and effective. Instead of struggling with forgetting, mastering these techniques allows learners to retain knowledge effortlessly and apply it whenever needed. Focus and distraction-free learning are essential for maximizing the brain's ability to absorb, process, and retain information efficiently. In today's world, where distractions are everywhere, from smartphones and social media to endless notifications and background noise, learning how to maintain deep concentration is a superpower. Studies show that the human brain is not designed for multitasking, and every time attention is divided, productivity and memory retention suffer. To truly master a skill or absorb new knowledge, one must eliminate distractions and enter a state of deep focus, also known as a flow state, where learning becomes faster and more effective. The brain operates in two primary modes, focus mode and diffuse mode. Focus mode is when full attention is given to a task, allowing the brain to work through complex problems, analyze details, and absorb information deeply. Diffuse mode, on the other hand, is when the brain is relaxed and processing information in the background, often leading to insights and creative problem solving. Both modes are essential, but for effective learning, deep focus must come first. The challenge is that most people struggle to maintain focus because their environment is filled with distractions that continuously pull their attention away. One of the biggest enemies of focused learning is digital distractions. Studies show that the average person checks their phone over 100 times a day, and each time attention is diverted, it takes several minutes to regain full concentration. This phenomenon, known as attention residue, occurs when switching between tasks, leaving small traces of previous tasks in the brain and reducing efficiency. For example, if a student is studying and suddenly checks a social media notification, even if for just a few seconds, the brain remains partially distracted by that notification, making it harder to return to deep learning. To combat this, one of the most effective strategies is to create a dedicated distraction-free environment. This means turning off notifications, putting the phone on silent or in another room, using website blockers to limit access to distracting sites, and ensuring that the study space is quiet and free from unnecessary interruptions. Many high achievers use the airplane mode method, shutting off all digital distractions for a set period to maximize their focus and efficiency. In addition to external distractions, internal distractions can also be a major obstacle to deep learning. Thoughts, worries, and mental clutter often interrupt concentration, making it difficult to stay engaged with a task. The key to overcoming internal distractions is training the brain to stay present and resist the urge to shift focus. One powerful technique for this is mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness meditation, even for just a few minutes a day, has been shown to increase attention span, reduce stress, and improve cognitive function. By training the brain to stay present, learners can improve their ability to concentrate for longer periods without getting distracted. Another crucial aspect of distraction-free learning is structured focus sessions. The Pomodoro technique is one of the most effective ways to achieve this. It involves working in focus sprints of 25 to 50 minutes, followed by short breaks. This method takes advantage of the brain's natural attention span and prevents burnout while maintaining deep concentration. By setting a timer and committing to uninterrupted focus during that period, the brain adapts to working more efficiently. Over time, as focus improves, the work sessions can be extended to longer durations. Deep work is another concept that plays a vital role in distraction-free learning. Coined by productivity expert Cal Newport, deep work refers to the ability to engage in fully focused, undistracted work that pushes cognitive limits and leads to mastery. People who practice deep work, such as top scientists, authors, and entrepreneurs, achieve significantly more than those who are constantly distracted by shallow tasks. The key to deep work is setting aside dedicated time for intense concentration, eliminating distractions, and fully immersing in the learning process. This practice not only improves retention, but also enhances creativity and problem-solving skills. Another important factor in maintaining focus is optimizing the learning environment. The brain associates different spaces with different activities, so having a designated study or work area signals to the mind that it is time to focus. This space should be clean, well-lit, and free from distractions. Studies show that cluttered environments lead to mental clutter, making it harder to concentrate. Keeping the workspace organized and using tools like noise-canceling headphones or background music designed for focus, such as classical music or white noise, can significantly improve concentration. Managing energy levels also plays a crucial role in focus and learning efficiency. The brain requires proper nutrition, hydration, and rest to function at its best. Poor diet, dehydration, and lack of sleep all negatively impact cognitive abilities, leading to brain fog and reduced attention span. Eating brain-boosting foods like nuts, leafy greens, and omega-3 rich foods, drinking enough water, and getting at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night can drastically improve focus and memory retention. Exercise is another powerful tool for enhancing focus. Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, releases endorphins, and reduces stress, all of which contribute to better cognitive function. Even short bursts of movement, such as stretching, walking, or doing deep breathing exercises, can refresh the mind and make it easier to maintain concentration for longer periods. Another important strategy for maintaining focus is setting clear goals and intentions before starting a study session. The brain works best when it has a clear objective. Instead of sitting down to study without direction, setting specific learning goals, such as completing a chapter, summarizing key points, or solving a set number of problems, helps keep the mind engaged and prevents drifting attention. One of the most overlooked but effective ways to maintain deep focus is developing the habit of single tasking. In a world where multitasking is often praised, research has consistently shown that it reduces efficiency and cognitive performance. The brain is not designed to handle multiple complex tasks at once. Instead of trying to juggle several things at the same time, focusing on one task until completion leads to much higher retention and productivity. In addition to avoiding distractions during study sessions, scheduling regular mental breaks is essential. The brain cannot maintain intense focus indefinitely. Short breaks allow the mind to reset and prevent fatigue. However, these breaks should be intentional and refreshing, not filled with mindless scrolling on social media, which can drain energy rather than restore it. Activities such as taking a short walk, stretching, listening to music, or practicing deep breathing can help maintain mental clarity and sustain focus for longer. The key to mastering distraction-free learning is consistency. Just like physical fitness, Cognitive endurance improves with regular training. At first, focusing for long periods may feel challenging, but with practice, attention span and concentration levels naturally increase. Over time, learners who develop strong focus habits find that they can absorb and retain information much faster than those who constantly battle distractions. In a world filled with endless interruptions, learning how to maintain deep focus and eliminate distractions is a game changer. Those who can control their attention have a significant advantage in mastering new skills, retaining knowledge, and achieving their goals faster than those who allow distractions to dictate their learning process. By implementing strategies such as minimizing digital distractions, practicing mindfulness, using structured focus sessions, optimizing the learning environment, maintaining physical health, and committing to single tasking, anyone can unlock their full learning potential and accelerate their success. The key to mastering any skill or knowledge lies in a combination of focus, memory techniques, and disciplined learning strategies. Success is not about cramming or passive studying, but about engaging deeply with the material through repetition, spaced learning, visualization, association, and distraction-free focus. The brain thrives when information is actively recalled, connected to meaningful concepts, and reviewed at strategic intervals. By eliminating distractions, optimizing the learning environment, and staying consistent with practice, anyone can accelerate their ability to absorb and retain information efficiently. The success formula is simple but powerful. Focus plus effective techniques plus consistency equals mastery. Those who train their minds to learn smarter, not harder, gain an undeniable advantage in any field. Whether it's improving professional skills, excelling academically, or developing new talents, applying these proven methods will lead to long-term success. Memory truly equals money, as knowledge and expertise open doors to countless opportunities. The faster you learn, the faster you grow, and the closer you get to achieving your biggest goals. Good luck, and thank you